Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're unpacking absolutely one of the most revolutionary breakthroughs in the history of artificial intelligence. We are going to demystify the core technology that actually powers today's large language models. It's called the attention mechanism. Now, if you've ever wondered how AI can seemingly understand these incredibly complex, meandering prompts and then generate such coherent responses, well, you are in exactly the right place. So let's dive into this explainer and see how the true engine of modern AI actually works. To really wrap our heads around this, let's start with something super relatable, just normal human behavior. Imagine you're holding a massive 500-page book in your hands, and I ask you a simple question. Who won the football match? What do? You don't start at page 1 and read every single word equally until you reach the end, right? Of course not. You skip straight to the sports chapter, you scan for the word football, and you focus your energy entirely right there. Well, this selective focus, that is the exact intuition behind AI attention. It's a mechanism that literally allows the AI to selectively pay attention to important details while completely ignoring the irrelevant ones. Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. First, the intuition of attention. Second, query, key, and value. Third, the math behind the magic. Fourth, multi-head and flash attention. And finally, cross-attention. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the intuition of attention. To understand why this was such a monumental breakthrough, we kind of need to look at the massive data bottleneck that this tech was created to solve in the first place. You see, back in the old days of deep learning, traditional recurrent neural networks, or RNNs, tried to compress an entire sentence into a single fixed-length vector. And the problem with that? Well, if you feed it a really long sentence, by the time it gets to the end, it's basically forgotten the beginning. The important information just gets lost in the compression. But now, look at the new way. Attention dynamically selects and focuses on the most important information. If an AI reads a sentence like, "The cat, which was sitting on the roof all night, finally jumped down," and it needs to predict the word jumped, it knows to heavily weigh the word cat over the word roof. It dynamically allocates its computing power to the most informative features, just like a human reader would. Moving on to Section 2, query, key, and value. So you're probably wondering, how does a machine actually do that? Let's zoom in on exactly how the AI implements this selective focus using what's known as the query, key, and value framework. This whole concept is actually borrowed from information retrieval systems, so just think of it like a simple search engine analogy. First up, we have the query, or Q. Think of this as your search term. It represents what the current token or word is actively looking for. If the AI is processing the word it, the query is essentially asking the system, hey, which of the previous words in this sentence will help me understand what it refers to? The query is the active seeker. Next, we have the key, or K. If the query is the search term, the key acts just like the index label on a filing cabinet. It advertises the specific information that each token holds. So one word's key might shout out, hey, I contain object information, while another says, I contain person information. The key exists simply so the query knows exactly where it should be looking to find a match. And finally, we have the value, or V. The value is the actual data inside that filing cabinet. Once the active query successfully matches up with a relevant key, the value is the actual substance that gets extracted and pulled into the AI's processing. So, to sum it up, the query and key work together to determine where to look by computing a relevance score, and the value determines what actual information you're getting. All right, Section 3, the math behind the magic. Now, we are descending into the core engine of transformers. But don't panic. Instead of some terrifying giant equation, this is actually a highly logical, simple 4-step recipe known as scaled dot product attention. Step 1, the model computes similarity. It does this by taking a mathematical dot product of the query and the key. The higher the resulting score, the more relevant they are to each other. Simple, right? Step 2, it scales that score. We'll talk about exactly why in just a second. Step 3, it normalizes those scaled scores using a softmax function. This just nicely converts them into clean probabilities or attention weights that all add up to 100%. And finally, step 4, weight and sum. It multiplies those calculated attention weights by the value to produce the final output. It's just a beautifully systematic way to filter out the noise. Let's take a quick second to look at why step 2 is so absolutely vital. Why do we scale it by dividing by the square root of the key's dimension? Basically, it's to prevent large dot products from completely stalling the AI's learning. If you don't scale these numbers down in high-dimensional spaces, the dot products grow massively large, and this pushes that softmax function we just talked about into highly unstable regions, where gradients basically vanish. If that happens, the AI's learning process completely stalls out. So scaling just keeps the values in a reasonable range so training stays stable and efficient. Up next, Section 4, Scaling with Multi-Head and Flash Attention. Let's zoom back out for a minute. Now that we understand the core, single engine, let's look at how this whole thing is scaled up for massive, real-world language models. Modern transformers don't just compute attention once. No way. They compute it multiple times in parallel through something called multi-head attention. This is because language is incredibly nuanced, right? So different heads are assigned entirely different jobs simultaneously. One attention head operates in its own space, looking purely at grammar. At the exact same time, another head is looking only at meaning. Another is looking at context, and yet another is mapping out long-distance relationships across the entire document. There's a really great way to visualize this. Think of multi-head attention as a detective team. One detective examines the footprints, another studies the shadows, another listens for sounds. When combined, the complete picture emerges. By concatenating all these multiple specialized perspectives together, the model builds a vastly richer, much more expressive understanding of a sentence than a single mechanism ever could on its own. But there's a catch. All that simultaneous computing creates a huge problem, a massive memory bottleneck. Standard attention is what we call memory bound. For a long sequence of text, the memory usage grows quadratically. Enter the real game changer, flash attention. It brings the memory complexity down to O of n, from O of n squared. This massive reduction in memory overhead is exactly why your favorite AI chatbot can now read a massive 100,000 token PDF document without completely crashing the servers. What's really fascinating here is that flash attention doesn't actually change the math we learned earlier at all, not one bit. Instead, it's an I/O-aware algorithm that smartly reorganizes the memory traffic through a clever technique called tiling. It divides the computation into small blocks and processes them on the ultra-fast on-chip SRAM, which completely avoids the need to constantly read and write a massive, full attention matrix from slow memory. It is an incredible optimization that delivers absolutely massive speedups. All right, we've made it to our final section, cross-attention and beyond. Up until now, we've mostly talked about self-attention, which is where a sentence just looks at itself. But what if we want to connect completely different worlds of data? Think about the crucial difference here. In self-attention, everything comes from one single source, sequence X. The query, key, and value are all derived from the exact same sentence. But in cross-attention, we build a bridge. The active seeker, the query, comes from one place, like a decoder generating a new sequence. But the keys and values, the indexes and the actual data, come from an entirely different sequence, like an encoder holding the original source material. This architectural bridge is profoundly powerful. Cross-attention is what actually powers machine translation. When an AI generates a French word in a decoder, it actively attends back to the English source keys in the encoder to find out exactly what to say next. It even bridges entirely different modalities. In image captioning, the text queries can actually attend to image feature keys. It's the exact mechanism that allows multimodal AI systems to seamlessly align text, audio, and visual data, which allows an AI to literally look at an image and accurately describe it in words. Which brings us to our final, provocative question. If attention is all you need, what will these models focus on next? We've seen how this incredible mechanism shifted AI from forgetting entire sentences to dynamically, intelligently focusing on the exact right information at the exact right time, whether it's text, images, or audio. By understanding the intuition, the math, and the brilliant optimizations like flash attention, you now know exactly what powers the bleeding edge of modern AI. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep focusing on the right details, and I'll see you next time.